Okay guys, good afternoon. Today we're going to be making cinnamon apple chicken. So it sounds a little weird putting apples on your chicken, but I promise you it's so good. So I've already gotten started here a little bit. I have put in some chicken tenderloins into a skillet with some olive oil, and I'm cooking it on a medium-high heat until those are nice and fully cooked. And then I also chopped up some apples here. So I'm going to try to show you the cooking process the best I can. I've chopped up some apples here, and I went ahead and threw them in another skillet. I'm going to turn this on a high heat. I'm going to add some water to it, and we're going to soften these apples up. So I tend to not measure anything when I cook, so I'm just going to throw some water in here. We're going to get these apples nice and boiling in this water. We want them really moist. And then we're going to put in some honey and some cinnamon and make these delicious. So I'm going to keep an eye on my chicken here. So just some chicken tenderloins. You can also use chicken breast. Whatever you have, I think the tenderloins do a pretty good job because they're a little bit thinner. And we were going to pour those delicious apples on top. So next we're going to make our veggie roast. So I'm going to preheat my oven here to 400 degrees. And while that's going, I'm going to cut up my veggies and put them on a baking sheet. So I'm just going to spray my baking sheet super good. I just have some ham here. Spray that super good. Don't want those veggies to stick. I gave you guys an ingredients list with veggies. The veggies that I'm going to use some red potatoes and some green beans. And normally I add in some onions. I just don't have them right now, so we're going to leave those out. But you can use whatever veggies you like. Let's turn this down to a low and just keep that chicken going on low just to keep it warm. You can use whatever veggies you like. Super easy. You just chop them up, cut them up, and then you just throw them on a baking sheet. The potatoes do take a little bit longer. A little trick I do like to use, if you don't have a ton of time but you want to put the veggies, the potatoes in the oven, is actually microwave them for a few minutes before you cut them, and then take them out so that they're hard enough that you can dice them up really nice, but soft enough that it takes the cooking time down in about half. Okay, so I've got my potatoes here, and I'm going to transfer this to my baking sheet. I'm going to put on, I just diced them up really nice. Put these on here. And just use whatever however many you need for your family. Normally I do a little more, but what I'm working with today. So next I'm going to chop, I've already pre-chopped my green beans, so I'm going to get those out here. Another good thing, you could add mushrooms to this. You can do asparagus. If you do asparagus, you do not want to add that until kind of towards the end because it'll dry out a lot. You don't want that. So just going to give my green beans a quick wash here. Sprinkle these all over my tray. Back down so you can kind of see what I'm working with. I've already diced off the ends of these because that takes forever. that's looking good. I'm gonna go ahead and season these up. Like I said, you can add more. I'm actually gonna see if we've got carrots. We might add some carrots to this. All right, so we do have some carrots, so I'm gonna add some delicious carrots to this. I'm gonna wash these good. Add this on. Again, you can't really mess up the veggies. You really just have to pick what you like and what you have. That's why I like it. We've always got a variety of veggies, so pretty easy to do. I'm gonna pour some of that water in there. I'm gonna soak up here. Okay, so if you can see over here, the apples are going like crazy. So they're all bubbling up. So I'm gonna turn this down to a simmer and I'm gonna cover it. Really hold in all of that heat. Getting this water up off the pan. Really hold in all of that heat. Spreading around my veggies. Okay. So now I'm gonna season the vegetables. So I always do with just a little bit of salt. I'm gonna do some fresh ground black pepper. Salt and pepper are always good. Literally anything. Checking on my chicken real quick. Make sure this is still going good. All right, so the chicken's almost done. So it should just take with tenders 6 minutes each side. Just make sure there's obviously no pink to cook all the way through. Flipping these bad boys around. And I'm just using olive oil in that one. All right, so and then I'm going to use a little bit of leaf oregano. You can kind of use whatever seasonings you like. I personally like that on my veggies. And then I'm going to top this off with a little bit of olive oil just to keep that moisture in there so they don't get dried out. So this is my roasted veggies. I'm going to pop these bad boys in the oven when it's ready. The oven is all preheated to go. So again, you just put it on a tray, whatever vegetables you like. So the apples are soaking up all of the water. And once all of this water is soaked up, then we're going to add in my next element. Okay, so we now have our apples are looking great. Bring you on over here. So there's just a little bit of water left in the bottom. And this is where we're going to make the fun sauce. Down here. All right, so I'm going to get some honey, and I'm going to add a few tablespoons of honey to the pan. I'm just going to pour it over these apples. So the reason we're doing this while it's hot is so we want it to thicken and make a kind of like a nice sauce for the apples. So another big tablespoon in here. Again, I always just eyeball everything, so hopefully this is descriptive enough. I'm just going to mix these apples in. I'm going to bring this to a medium heat. So now what we want is this honey kind of sauce. It's kind of watery. We left some of that water in there. We want this honey to kind of coat all of these apples. Bringing it up to a high heat so it can thicken into a nice sauce. I've got my chicken over here. It's turned off. It is warming. And our veggies are in the oven. We're going to bring this up to a higher heat. Just kind of keep stirring. It is going to get a little tacky and sticky from that honey. So now what I want, we have the syrupy honey on it. We're bringing it up to a high heat. The apples are soft. They are soft, so now what I want is them to crisp up just a little bit on the outer edges. So it's nice and crispy on the outside and then soft on the inside. It's gonna be absolutely delicious. So we wanna get all of this liquid up and out of the pan because our apples are soft enough now. So we're just gonna let this sit until all of that water is soaked up nice. And we'll move on to the next step. Okay, so now I have my sauce bowl here, and I'm gonna make a little bit of sauce that is gonna go, when we put this all together, we're gonna add it on top of our apples. So these are starting to, all this water is starting to come up. So we're gonna start crisping these apples up now, which is gonna be so, so good. Okay, so a couple ingredients here, which is pretty much what we're putting on the apples, but we're gonna keep it thick. So we're gonna add a tablespoon or 2 of honey. A lot of that honey is soaked in those apples now. We're gonna add just a dash of lemon juice, a tiny bit. Mix that together. Smells super good. If you want a fresh lemon, it is going to be a little less tart, but either will work. And then we're going to do a dash of our cinnamon. So pretty much the same ingredients with just a little bit of lemon juice. A dash of cinnamon into there. All right, so this is what our mixture looks like. It's a little bit thinner with the honey because we added that lemon juice. We've got the darkening because of that cinnamon, nice and delicious. So it's a little bit thicker. So we're gonna get our chicken out. We're gonna pour our apples on top, and then we're gonna drizzle this over everything, and it's gonna be so, so good. We're gonna continue to let our apples crisp up here. Pretty much all the water's out. They're nice and soft. We're gonna let these get a little bit crispy on the outside. So we're at a medium-high heat here. And we're just gonna let those keep cooking. Okay, I'm gonna go roll again here. Okay, so these apples are crisping up. Starting to smell super, super good. So just the edges here are getting nice and crispy. Turn the heat down if you need. We don't want to get them burnt. So I'm going to turn my heat down to kind of a low medium. We're just going to let these sit. As these are sitting, we're going to add our cinnamon. So pour that cinnamon over top. Again, I just do it all to looks here. So I probably added about 2 tablespoons of cinnamon. And this is going to help get that coating too. To get them nice and kind of almost fried on the outside. Oh, it smells so good. Okay, so these apples are nice and caramelized. They smell delicious. Turn the heat off. We're gonna let them firm up just a bit. I don't know if they look like they've got a nice crusty coating on the outside, but they're nice and gooey on the inside. So I'm just gonna let these sit here. Once they cool, they're gonna harden up just a little bit. Chicken's good, we're all cooked through. I'm just gonna wait on these veggies that are gonna take forever. Okay, so I'm going to plate this now. We've got our chicken done, the apples are done. So I'm just pairing this with a Parmesan salad. I've just got some greens, some Parmesan, tomatoes, croutons, and some sunflower seeds. I'm gonna add my chicken now. It's got a nice golden crust. Okay, so I've got my chicken here. I'm gonna go ahead and scoop up my apples. So I'm gonna pour the apples on top of the chicken. All right, so apples are on top of the chicken. And then I'm gonna take this sauce that we made earlier and pour over the top here. If you want, you can add another dash of cinnamon on the top. All right, and there you have it. Here is our cinnamon apple chicken with our nice salad on the side, and then we've also got our roasted veggies. So I'm gonna pull those out of the oven here. I think they're done, and we'll add that to the plate as well. Oh, they're still sizzling, so there you have it, your roasted veggies hot out of the oven, nice and tender and crispy, and we're gonna add that to our plate. Pop those back in for just another minute. Guys, we are all set, so I hope you enjoy. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at shyla.barber@fortwayne Community Schools, and I'll answer any of your questions. So thank you.